Should I stay and fight or give space and let them work on it? To clarify at the beginning, we are Mad Hatters. Not in the sense that it happened at the same time, but that we both have wondered. On to the main thing, I moved 6 hours away from my family and friends to be with WS. I was here less than a week when she finally broke down and told me about AP. She of course TT'd me and didn't tell me everything. When she told me we were 5 days from getting married and 1 day away from her family coming to town to help us prepare, we decided to work through it. We knew it would be hard and that there would be long discussions and fights, as we had already dealt with this from me. We took the necessary steps. We set rules about phone and screen use. I made sure she cut contact with the AP. As the days progressed, we stayed busy but talked as much as possible and checked in with each other. WS has told AP a false last name and only had him on messaging and Snapchat. For a while I truly felt like she was trying and that we could do this. I found out about 2 weeks ago and a week after the marriage that she was texting him. She told me that her iPad had let a message through, and so she replied and told him about how she was getting married in 4 days and her real last name. She had unblocked him at some point, and so a message came through while we were on the couch. Seeing AP number made me sick to my stomach, and so I asked WS to take a nap with me. I don't handle stress well, so I haven't been eating or drinking and I constantly throw up or have diarrhea. During the nap, WS texted him over me. Literally over my body. She showed me the messages when I woke up and we talked and fought because I kept finding out new information. Every night I learned something new. She insisted that she needed closure and said the only way to do that is in person, so that night she went to his house. I cried for hours that night. She returned and told me nothing happened and that it was done. I foolishly believed her. 2 days after she said it was done, she again told me about how she wanted him and that she didn't know what to do. I told her she had to call and set up counseling as we discussed, and she needed to vent to her best friend to get the emotions under control. She left to drive and talk as that helps her. I am in a very bad spiral and struggle with depression, so I texted her that I was using alcohol and edibles to help me cope. She assumed I was trying to kill myself and asked if I needed to go to the hospital. She asked for a separation for 2 months so she can go to counseling and try to sort out what she wants. Little did I know that she again unblocked AP and had told him she was getting a divorce, and I saw the messages about them swooning over each other. She did her first counseling last Thursday, and her counselor is also a Mad Hatter, so it applied really well. Her counselor suggested total isolation on her part, but as her husband I live in the same house, and since I just moved I don't have a job or friends in the area. We are still trying the isolation and very minimal contact, but when she asks for support I can't say no. When I do support her though, I tend to find out more about the AP and their conversations, and it hurts. She has yet to cut communication with him and is instead using him as comfort after we talk. If you made it this far, thank you for reading. I will try to sum it up. She has to be here for school and we don't have the money to do a hotel or stay somewhere for 2 months. I feel shattered and want to seek her out, and she does the same for me, but NC is a very potent tool and very helpful for both. Basically, I don't know if I should pack a bag and go see my family for a while, or if I should stay and just continue to be lied to and hurt. What scares me is losing her. I am still very much in love, and I know if I am gone she might justify seeing AP in person again. Should I go NC and visit my family, or should I try to support the marriage and move forward getting a job here to support the financial? Edit. I gave WS an ultimatum to either cut contact with him like everyone suggested or move out. We had a big fight and she refuses to leave. Today I found that she has been sending him nudes through Instagram and that they were s-ing these last 2 nights. She is out of the house and I called the AP and told him to make room for her. She demands that she will be back on Monday. Update, for the people that made it through. What's next? Backstory, so my WS cheated and we divorced 6 months later. There are still a lot of emotions and everything, but we have been no contact, and last I heard she is doing fine but has decided to get back with her AP, who also was cheating on her while she was cheating on me. At this point I have been healing and doing therapy and all the steps, and I am really improving my life. The problem is, what is next? I often have moments of deep depression because I lost so much and I can't convince myself I can open myself up to that kind of love again. So my question is, what did some of you do to convince yourselves that it will get better and that you can love like that again? I haven't met anyone who doesn't still care for someone after a divorce. So do you have tricks on how not to care? I don't want to be bitter. I want to heal. Update, feeling like I lost my other half. So I have been no contact and divorced for almost 6 months, and while I hate the feelings and often feel like I am better, I don't know how to beat feeling like I am lesser or that I lost my other half. I know she cheated. I know that reflects on her and not me. I know I did what I could and I am doing much better, but how do you feel like you haven't lost a part of yourself? Do you ever get there? I already do everything I can. I garden, work out, getting trim, and lost 25 pounds. Working a lot, everything. Yet I still hit moments where I want what I had back, not her now, not how she is and how she treated me, but more the good and the happiness and the ease of it. Honestly, dating sucks and human interaction is hard because I never know when I'll shut down and just want her. Does anyone have advice for specifically this, or is it just a time thing, or meeting the right people will help? Update: 1 year since the D-Day. So it is now officially 1 year since the D-Day. A lot has changed. I am not going to sugarcoat it, and most people here have seen my posts and comments. I had it rough just like all of us BS. First the positive, then the negative. I have been about 2 months no contact. I am 1 paycheck away from paying off my debts from the divorce. I am working a full-time job and being offered better positions. I have lost 50 pounds since my wedding last August. I have made huge improvements in myself and my friendships. I am dating again, nothing serious. I still can't trust and I still am just not there, and I made my first drive going more than 2 hours without wanting to end it. So much has changed. I still miss what could have been. Not her actions, but what we had built, what we had fought for, what we dreamt. I got lucky in some ways. I had a fairly clean divorce. I still have good contact with her family. I lost a lot. I lost my life. I lost my furniture and I let her take the dogs. I lost love. I will always know this. I know the pain. I know the roller coaster, but instead of putting up walls and hiding, I faced my emotions. I've lost trust. I lost friends. I might never marry again, not because I don't think I'll find someone I want to spend my life with, but because I feel like, why? So they could hurt me again and take half my stuff and I have to hire someone just to keep it civil? No point. There is hope. Everyone on here that is just starting, that is days that just hurt, that has been years. It doesn't stop, not for me. I still do things and think of her. We built a life and that doesn't just go away, so certain traditions, actions, holidays, hobbies, etc. will always bring up her memory, but it doesn't hurt as much. I can look back and know that this was the right choice. I got away. I can rebuild, and if I can, do can the rest of us. I love this community and all the advice, so kept fighting the good fight. Update: I messed up but then I fixed it. It has been about 3 months of NC. I was doing really good for myself. I started to go on dates, but I was very honest and told the women that I am just dating to get out there and am not ready to do a full-blown relationship, and let them make an informed decision. I altogether lost 50 pounds and am in my best shape of my 20s. I even got a new puppy. Despite all of that and everything I have done, I got hit with a heavy wave of grief and loneliness and couldn't help but miss what I had. Not what became of it, but what it was before. I liked to come home and have someone waiting. I liked having someone to talk to about my day and just being around them. I loved going to sleep and holding someone. I know I am starved for affection and that I could remedy it by being dishonest and just leading girls on, but I don't want to hurt anyone. There is enough pain out there. Well, I remembered I had access to my ex-wife's social media and I went pain shopping. I have known she is dating the AP despite the fact that he has already cheated on her. That didn't matter. What set me back was the fact that for the months we were trying and being friendly, she was lying to me about being in contact with him. I told her that I couldn't be her friend if she still talked to him. Not to control her, but to let her know my hard line and that I would rather not feel that pain again. Well, when her grandfather died, I was there. When she needed to go to the hospital, twice, I was there. When she needed a friend, I was there. She spent the better part of the months after the divorce at my place with the dogs, and I kept it civil because for some stupid reason I still cared for her. I didn't and don't want this version of her back, but I was happy we were getting along. It all imploded when she moved, probably because of distance again, and that is when the NC started. Yet with all of that, I found out that she was lying to my face the whole time. She was sending him time memes and talking about how she missed him and such. The whole time. She only didn't talk to him from November 20th to January. She just didn't tell me. I don't care that she is with him now. I care that she lied. What was the point? We were already divorced, so why lie? Well, I finally had enough. I didn't realize it till now, but I was holding on to something. Maybe her fixing herself and whatever. Maybe the fact that she was the love of my life. Maybe that her life would crumble and she would reach out. I don't know, but whatever it was broke. So I packed everything I could think of that was a memory. All the gifts. All the wedding stuff. Any clothes or things. Then I drove with my puppy 2:30 hours to her place and put it on the porch and left and drove the 2:30 hours home. She wasn't there and she hasn't reached out, but I honestly don't care. I was trying to heal the right way. Slow and steady, but then I picked at the wound only to find it infected, and so I just cut it off. It is what it is, and I will just let myself remain alone for a while. Update: she texted my friend to try to figure out how I got her new address. I guess she forgot that when she moved she told me because we were talking about me coming to visit as she got the dogs in the divorce and I wanted to be able to go visit them specifically. She wanted to act like it was wrong to go there and to give her the stuff without talking to her or letting her know. I put the stuff on her fenced-in porch. Maybe I spooked her because I haven't spoken to her in months and she must have forgotten, but I intentionally went when she wasn't home and when I knew it was safe to make sure she got the stuff without a confrontation. Either way, I'm done and free, and she still thinks she didn't do anything wrong. Update: my thoughts on infidelity. It's been about 3 years since my D-Day. Since the day I arrived to town after going long distance due to life and planning a wedding to her, telling me 5 days before that she had cheated on me. That she had gotten mad at me and met a guy on Tinder and how they were so close. D-Day for everyone is a huge roller coaster, and I'm sure many of us, including me, still feel a lot of emotions from it. The time frame is wild, but I'll try to condense it. 5 days after D-Day we marry. In my mind it was because I still loved her and we both felt it was too late to call it off. 2 weeks after I find her texting him. 1 month after and we are separated and sleeping in different rooms. 6 months later we are divorced and she has moved out. 1 year later and she moves out of town and we talk a bit. 2 years later and I return anything she ever gave me. We start up a FWB relationship. 2 years later I find she is still talking to the AP and I stop seeing her. 3 years later and we are no contact and I don't want anything to do with her cause I found she said she will always love AP. As we all know, there is a lot more that happened, but this isn't about my experience. The thing we are led to believe about infidelity is that it's the breaking of trust and that people in love can beat it and such. The media makes it out to be about finding the person you love and beating all odds. Yet, it's never like the movies. It's so much more. For the betrayed it's the loss of everything. Your dreams, goals, aspirations, trust in humanity, faith, anything that depended on trust or hope is lost. You literally lose yourself. I don't ever believe that I'll find anyone I want to marry again just to protect myself. I'm so scared of that pain that I'd rather be alone. Yet for the wayward, it was just a fling or just some fun. For the AP it was easy pickings usually. Infidelity is a blight, it's a curse, and it destroys everyone and everything. Sure, some reconcile, but even years down the road they have such a deep distrust, a deep pain. My only wishes are that you don't get cheated on. If you do, the only tip I can give you is focus on you. That's all the wayward did. Don't worry about them or your dreams or who you want to protect, focus on you and your mental health. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, I'm sorry you went through that op. You deserve better. Redditor 2, I generally agree with most of your sentiments on the topic, but in your specific case, you made it worse with your own decisions. Your perception has been tempered by her failure and your own failure to understand the basic premise of your union. You don't ever marry under these conditions, no matter the cost or investment. She cheated on you a few days before the wedding. It's pretty clear what the message says. She doesn't love, value, respect you enough to not move forward with an act of short-term pleasure over a long-term intimate connection. She did it over Tinder. There are many steps between installing Tinder, up to the point of meeting the desired object and moving forward with the act. The intent is equally obvious. She was clearly not committed to this relationship. Whether she ever was, is a different question for you. You obviously still loved her when you decided to marry her. But all your love doesn't change the fact that it was still a terrible decision, since your relationship was already over at this point. You should also take into account that she cheated on both of you, as my guess is that he was still in play when you were her FWB, which was again a terrible decision. Her role in all of this is quite obvious. Your thoughts on infidelity are legitimate and understandable, but I am afraid they have been heavily influenced by your own decisions here. Love cannot beat the odds of overcoming infidelity. Especially not when love is so blind that it ignores all the other factors. The signs were there, you just decided to unsee them, because the alternative was perceived as the bigger evil. Giving up on or losing her was never a real option for you. You wanted to believe that deep down, she is still that woman you wanted to marry. But she wasn't anymore, not after what she had done. It's the mutual respect, the trust and the commitment that builds a relationship. Love is the glue that keeps it all together. The same ingredients are necessary for rebuilding it after these types of acts, given that both parties even contemplate a continuation. You tried to save something that was never meant to be saved. Love is not what saves us. It's trusting ourselves and interpreting the signs that are right in front of us that can save us. Never lie to yourself in light of information that is pretty clear-cut and allows no room for interpretation. She did not want this marriage, she sabotaged it before the ceremony and she told you about it. And she also did all she could to sabotage it afterwards. By being her FWB, you took off the guilt and shame of her own acts. If you can still her, well, then she obviously wasn't that bad girl, right? Do you see the messages you have been sending? Imagine you had seen the signs right away, and decided not to move forward with the marriage. All the time you could have invested somewhere else. Sorry if my response is not what you expected, but I see it very often on this subreddit, and way too often in my social circle. People keep taking their own decisions out of the equation and they are not doing themselves a favor with it. If you don't want to marry again in order to protect yourself, you are taking away your own responsibility in this whole situation. You destroyed your own perceptions, and you lost yourself through your own decisions. Her decisions were pretty clear from the beginning. Answer: I don't disagree with you at all. My decisions played a heavy part, but hindsight is 20/20. In the moment it is a lot harder to make a clear-headed decision. I'm not trying to defend myself. I know all the things I did wrong. I know where my faults lie and I know what my intentions were. Is it silly? Was it stupid? Did I just hurt myself? Yes, and yes. I also am not putting all the blame on her. Now, do I blame her for cheating? Yes. Did she make enough chances to stop? Yes. Do I blame her for all the hurt and for my current mindset? Absolutely not. Redditor 3, I feel your pain, my friend. I agree that a betrayed partner needs to focus on himself, but this should be done from the beginning of any relationship. This does not mean that we don't need to love and take care of our partners, we just need a balance. And when the tragedy of the affair happened, we should just cut our losses, admit we made a mistake and move on. This is so in theory, but in practice, everyone comprehends this truth through the destruction of their ideas about love and fidelity and through suffering. We don't learn from other people's mistakes, we often don't learn from our own ones. Very sad. Answer: exactly. Sometimes we have to fall on our own face before we learn to stand back up. Redditor 4, wayward partners do mess us up. Only way up is focusing on your life, mental and physical well-being, etc. If it's any consolation for us betrayed ones, cheaters think it's a low for them, but they don't allow themselves to crash like we do and accept the fact that we need to crash, maybe hit a bottom low which may be different for each of us. They cannot rise and grow like us. Yes, it's painful to grow, life-changing to divorce, ego-shattering to be cheated on. It just makes us stronger and probably cold too. I'm not in a place in my life where I have or a place in my heart for one yet. I still feel like damaged goods, but I would rather be a strong, powerful, resilient, albeit damaged good than be the old me living a lie of a relationship. If you have been through this funnel, be proud of yourself. Surely we all made mistakes after our D-Day, maybe wasted years of our lives for some of us, but we are all stronger for going through that funnel. For me, going to the gym, swimming, an awesome new job with perfect life-work balance, forever remote, and an obscenely good paycheck compared to what I was making before divorce matters. Everything I have learned and earned is everything my wayward partner lost. I try to be happy. Use the support of my awesome family, but still live a much more lonely life. Not complaining, just growing into something tangible, with meaning. Maybe the small room in my heart will grow someday.